Hey guys, what's up? So today I wanted to do a video about growing pomegranates from seed because you can see this tree behind me, this sort of shrub. This is a pomegranate that I grew from seed quite a few years ago, just from a pomegranate that I bought from the store. So today I wanted to demonstrate basically how I did that and how to grow a pomegranate from seed, because it is a really cool sort of tree to grow or bush to grow. It grows really nicely. This one, as you can see, is growing in amongst this garden that's got there's wineberries here which are spiking me in the back. There's also a pawpaw tree behind and an apple tree over that way as well. So it seems to grow alright. It is getting a bit strangled, but you know, it seems to be all good. So anyway, let's get into it and show you how to grow these from seed. To give you a little bit of a closer look, this is what the pomegranate tree looks like. Really lush, really nice looking, and it's spring at the moment, so this has had no leaves during the winter, but all the leaves have come back and it's starting to grow really good. So the best way to cut these is actually just kind of scoring through the skin just on these ridges all the way around. And by ripping it open like this, it just means that you're not putting your knife right through all of the seeds, which if you do that, it's fine, but it just means that you get the juice going everywhere. Whereas if you just score it enough so you can break right through, then all these little beads stay all intact, just like that. Now that you've opened it up, basically you can just obviously find the seeds inside each one of these little bits of pomegranate. Just clean the flesh off. You can just, you know, chew it off, and then you'll find the seed in the inside, and just like that. Just when you are looking for seeds, just get ones that are nice and full, nice and round, and make sure obviously as well that your fruit is really nice and ripe. Don't try and harvest seeds from an underripe fruit, because your chances of getting them to sprout are just a bit less. Alright, so I've fully cleaned off all of the flesh off these seeds, and I've got quite a few there. I don't need that many pomegranate plants, but always pays to grow more than you think you're going to need, just in case some of them don't sprout. Next up, I've just got a paper towel, and I've damped it with water. Just make sure if you give it a shake, it's not going to be dripping wet. You just want it damp, but not fully, you know, saturated. All you basically do is just place the seeds all onto this, spread them out a bit, and you can just fold the paper towel over top of them. Now, rather than using a plastic bag to put these in, you know, I just trying to avoid plastic, so I'm just going to put it in this jar, which works just as well. As long as it seals nicely, then that should work really well. So pop the lid on. Pretty much now I can just put this in a warm spot. You can sow these seeds directly into soil. The only thing with that is you have to make sure that you keep it watered, it doesn't dry out, and I tend to be kind of bad at that, and I often let it dry out, then the seed doesn't sprout. So if you do this, you can kind of just forget about it, check on them after a week to 2 weeks and see if they've sprouted. Alright, so I've probably left this a little bit too long, longer than I usually would have. But we're going to check on these pomegranate seeds and have a little look. And check that out. They have, well, I think all of them have actually sprouted. Some of them quite a lot, and to the point where they've actually started to get leaves on them. But we should be able to transplant them anyway. Ideally, you probably don't want to leave it quite this long, because it takes longer for them to adjust to, you know, being in an outdoor environment, because they've already got leaves, but hopefully we'll be able to get them through. So I'll just go ahead now and start planting them into these pots. If you end up like this one here, where it's actually got the root embedded in the paper towel, you can, if you like, plant it just like that, and that way you're not going to get as much transplant shock, because the root can just carry on growing through the paper towel, get the same amount of moisture that it was getting before, and this will eventually just biodegrade, so no issues there. So it appears that there's actually only been one that hasn't sprouted, and it's still fully closed up, so it may still actually sprout. There was quite a few like this that I thought, oh, they haven't sprouted, but that's actually just a shell, and if you kind of split it, you can see that the plants come out of it already. So this one's full, but we might just chuck it in the ground anyway, and it may decide to sprout anyway at some point. It might just be a bit slower. So pretty good success rate for these pomegranates. They've gone pretty well. I decided just to put them in just these 2 pots, so we'll put something else in there. But because these little seeds haven't seen any direct sunlight, I'm just going to leave them inside at the moment, let them get their proper leaves out and not get all singed from being in direct sunlight and too much dryness. Because they've been growing in a jar, they've been growing in quite a humid environment and with a lot of moisture around them, so any direct sunlight would straight away just burn these. So the little pomegranates have done pretty well. They've all come out now. They've got some nice green leaves on the top there, and hopefully they'll continue growing just as well as they are at the moment. I hope you guys enjoyed and are inspired to give it a go yourself, and if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and join me on Facebook as well. Hopefully I'll see you over there. Alright, see you in the next video. Bye.